Today we are going to discuss the next topic in biology is transportation, the circulatory system. Let us discuss regarding the introduction of this topic. In our day-to-day life, different materials will be transported on the road and while using the railways and all, in the goods train and all, different materials will be transported from one place to the other place. In the same manner, in our body also, the nutrients and some of the liquids and the gases will be transported from one place to the other place. That is what it is called as transportation. In the unicellular organisms like Hydra and the amoeba, we are able to find the transportation will be taken place through a simple process called diffusion or osmosis. You know that diffusion means the flow of materials from high concentration to low concentration. And in the osmosis, the materials will be moving from low concentration to high concentration. In amoeba, if at all oxygen is less here and outside surrounding oxygen is concentration is greater, so the movement is taken place in this way. And when carbon dioxide is concentration is greater and outside the carbon dioxide concentration is less, mean the flow will be in this direction. This is what called as diffusion. In osmosis, the flow of materials from low concentration to high concentration. But in the multicellular organisms, the same process, if it is followed, it will take years to transport the materials from one part to the other part. So there is a special system called the circulatory system in the multicellular organisms to carry the digested nutrients like glucoses, amino acids and the fatty acids from one part of our body to the cells. It is only transporting through circulatory system. In this circulatory system, there are three parts. One is HEART, heart, blood vessels, and the third one is blood. These are the three parts in the circulatory system. Now, let us know about what is meant by pulse. Children, have you ever visited any hospital? There we can able to see that the doctor can able to get the pulse by catching the wrist of the patient nearby this area. This is what the wrist area, and this is the index finger and this is the middle finger. These two they will be placed here and lower to this thumb, and here this wrist area, if you press it, you can able to get your pulse. Next, pulse varies from one physical activity to the other one. While walking, pulse may be less. While jogging and doing heavy exercise, pulse rate may be greater. Next, tell me who discovered the stethoscope? And when we visit the hospital to know about our heartbeat and our doctors, they are using this stethoscope. This is what we are calling it as stethoscope. They are using this instrument. This they will keep it on the chest of the patient, and this they will keep it in their ears like this. And they can feel the heartbeat of the patient. At the time the stethoscope was discovered by René Laennec in the year 1816. With the help of this, they can able to know the heartbeat rate and about the heart, where it is located in our body and what are the parts present inside the heart and what are the vessels connected to the heart. Let us learn about it now. See, our heart is located in the chest cavity here. See, it is a pear-shaped organ and it is placed in between the two lungs. It is placed in between two lungs and tilting towards the left hand side. This is what the location. It is there in our chest cavity, placed in between the two lungs and well protected with two membranes. This is one membrane, this is another membrane, and in between those two membranes there is a fluid called pericardial fluid. This is pear-shaped organ and it is having two membranes called pericardial membrane, and in between there is a fluid called pericardial fluid which protects the heart from external shocks, physical shocks and jerks. This pericardial fluid protects the heart from external shocks and jerks. Next, and it is having septum in between and it is having four chambers. This is one chamber, this is another chamber, third, four chambers, and these two top chambers little bit, this side it is wider in nature and the apex part is little bit narrow. Here this is what the right auricle, this is left auricle, this is right ventricle, this is left ventricle. These auricles are also called as atrium, is also called as auricle. These two chambers are called ventricles. So the top two chambers are called atria and the lower two chambers are called ventricles. And the vessels which are connected to the heart, the blood vessels which are connected to the heart, see here, to the right auricle we are able to find one blood vessel which is collecting the blood from anterior parts of our body, head and neck regions. It is called as superior vena cava. Superior vena cava. And from the posterior parts of the body, superior vena cava, and this vessel is inferior vena cava. This is called as inferior vena cava. Superior vena cava is also called as precava or precaval vein. And inferior vena cava is also called as postcaval vein. Next here, another blood vessel which is connected to the right ventricle which opens here is this is what called as the pulmonary aorta. It is called as pulmonary aorta. A-O-R-T-A, aorta. And here two blood vessels which they are bringing the blood from lungs to the heart. These two are called as pulmonary veins. Pulmonary veins. Another blood vessel which is connected to the left ventricle is systemic aorta. This is what now let us once discuss about what are the blood vessels connected here. Superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, and another one is pulmonary aorta, and the next one is the systemic aorta, and here we are able to find the pulmonary veins, two pairs of pulmonary veins. In the internal structure we are able to find these two are the pericardial membranes, and this is what the pericardial fluid. Here this is what one septum, and here this is another septum which divides the total space in the heart into 4 chambers. Here to here this septum we are calling it as interauricular septum. Interauricular septum. This part, here to here this part we are calling it as interventricular septum. Interventricular septum. And here this septum which divides that auricles from ventricle, this septum is called auriculoventricular septum. Auriculoventricular septum. Here there is an aperture. This is what one aperture. It is called right auriculoventricular aperture. It allows the blood to move in this direction from right auricle to right ventricle. So this aperture we are calling it as right auriculoventricular aperture. This aperture is called, which is there in between left auricle and left ventricle, it is called as left auriculoventricular aperture. Left means left hand side of the heart, left auricle this is, and this is left ventricle. It is lying in between these two, so it is called as left auriculoventricular aperture. And this right auriculoventricular aperture is guarded by a valve called tricuspid valve. Here we are able to find the 3 cusps, 1, 2, 3 cusps, CUSPS. So it is called a tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve. The valve which is located in between the left auricle and left ventricle nearby this left auriculoventricular aperture is called as bicuspid valve. Bicuspid valve. It is also called as mitral valve. This valve is also called as mitral valve. Now let us see that here this blood vessel we are calling it as pulmonary aorta, where the pulmonary aorta take its origin in the right ventricle. There we are able to find 3 semilunar valves will be there. 3 semilunar valves. So these are called as pulmonary valves. Pulmonary valves. And here where the aorta starts originating from the left ventricle, there There also we are able to find 3 semilunar valves will be there. They are called aortic valves. They are called as aortic valves. Quickly recap the previous topic. Here you see the heart is a conical organ which is having the pear shape and which is a muscular organ which you can say, and it is mostly hollow in the center. And another one, broad at anterior part and narrow at posterior part. Next this, and our heart size is like our human fist. See, this is what the fist. The walls of auricles or the atria, they are somewhat thinner in nature, and the WALL, wall of the ventricle, is little bit thicker in nature. Wall of ventricle, you see this area thicker in nature, this is thinner. Next, here this is what the right auriculoventricular aperture, which is guarded by a tricuspid valve, and the left auriculoventricular aperture is guarded by a bicuspid valve, and it is also called as a mitral valve, and it allows the blood from moving from left auricle to left ventricle, and tricuspid valve allows the blood to move from right auricle to right ventricle. Next here, the 3 semilunar valves which are located nearby the pulmonary aorta origin area, which allows the blood to move from right ventricle to aorta, but they prevent the blood to come in the reverse direction. Here 3 semilunar valves which are there nearby the starting of this aorta, and these aortic valves also will prevent the backward flow of blood from aorta to ventricle. Now the different types of blood vessels which are circulating the blood from one area to the other area, we should learn about the history of that. Girolamo Fabrici, in the year 1574, he found that valves are present in veins. There are 3 different types of blood vessels. One is artery, and the second one is vein, and the third one is capillary. So Girolamo Fabrici, he observed valves are present in the veins which prevent the backward flow. William Harvey is a scientist who discovered that the blood circulation in the human body. Next, Marcello Malpighi, he observed very fine hair-like structures, the blood vessels which are found in the wings of the bat. Now, let us know about arteries. Arteries are the broad blood vessels which are deeply seated in our body. Next, they are mostly elastic. See here, if you take the TS of artery, elastic fibrous coat is there, and lining cells or endothelium cells are there, and the lumen is very small because the wall of the artery is very thick and very elastic in nature. That is what the lumen size is very small. And here TS of vein, if you observe it, the lumen size of the vein is bigger in size, and here the wall of the vein is little bit thinner than artery. Wall of the vein is thinner, it is not that much elastic like artery. Next, always the arteries carry pure blood or the oxygenated blood from heart to all the body organ they used to transport. Exception is pulmonary artery. Here if we observe that this blue color artery is starting from right ventricle, which collects the deoxygenated blood from the heart and which supplies the blood to the two lungs. This goes to left lung, this goes to right lung.